A very warm welcome to the MSV Arena in Duisburg. We're just in time to have a look at the Dortmund under-23 lineup. 3 changes there. Bueno, Papadopoulos and Pfanner coming in. Duisburg against Dortmund under-23s today. It's round 31 in the German 3rd Division season, and both of these teams are battling a bit too close to the bottom of the table for their liking. Dortmund, second team, just 2 points above the relegation zone as it stands coming into this game today. Duisburg, a couple of places further up in the table, 12th at home today. The Zebras in blue and white, of course, in their hoops. Dortmund, second team, in 15th, 12th against 15th. Both teams have won 9 times this season. Duisburg with 9 draws, something of a draw specialist. Dortmund with only 2 draws, but Jan Zimmermann's BVB under-23 side have lost 17 to Duisburg's 11. That gives the home side the advantage for today's game, on paper at least. The referee Jonas Brombacher will get us underway in just a few minutes' time. The stadium is getting ready for this one. Decent atmosphere in Duisburg. Something of a derby today, a West derby, if you want to call it that. A derby in the Ruhrgebiet. Duisburg and Dortmund not all too far apart. And that should add an extra little bit of spice to this game in round 31. They last met back on Matchday 12 of this season. It ended 2-0 to Borussia Dortmund. Second team, Brushinski and Pasalic with the goals, and Jinma and Bueno with the assists. And last season, Dortmund won both games, 4-1 at home and 3-1 away in this stadium as well. Lieblingsgegner, they could call Duisburg, something of a favourite opponent to play against given their good record.
Live bei Magenta Sport, präsentiert von BWin. Das ist unser Spiel.
So Dortmund with their final preparations. Jan Zimmermann's team looking to continue a decent run of late. Only 1 goal conceded in their last 3. 7 points they've taken from those games to turn away from the relegation zone. Duisburg getting ready as well. Team huddles at both ends. 5 changes from Thorsten Siegner for this Duisburg side, who had a week off. Not by plan, not by design last weekend. But this pitch here at the MSV Arena was unplayable. And Thorsten Siegner's side were forced to train through the weekend instead of playing their match against table-topping Elversberg. Didn't do them too much harm for now. A couple of players back in training. Maybe players that they can call upon today that wouldn't have been available last week. Chinedu Okene still injured. Rolf Feldscher back in training though. 5 changes for Thorsten Siegner, including 3 in the back line. Bitter, Zenger and Köhler coming in. Watch out though for Marvin Baccalors, the man in the midfield for MSV. Scored 13 goals in 84 appearances for Dortmund's under-23s. Marvin Baccalors now going up against them today. Dortmund working it out to the right-hand side with the first foray forward into the game, and it's a decent ball into the box, a bit of space at the back as well. Shot comes in, it's deflected and just wide over the top in the end. Ole Pohlmann with the chance inside 30 seconds. And Vincent Müller, the goalkeeper, had all sorts of trouble with that once it took the deflection. Pohlmann simply shifted back, hit the shot against Joshua Bitter. Slightly fortunate to see it lift over the crossbar, just off target. Duisburg survive the very first attack of the game from Jan Zimmermann's Dortmund team. It's into the 6-yard box low. It's not cleared, it's up, but the bouncing ball is missed, and Duisburg should be able to work it away. Only as far as Ole Pohlmann, though. Pohlmann, the man with the chance after about 25 seconds, and now the ball all the way back to Marcel Lotka, another one who knows both of these teams very well. Lotka, the young goalkeeper, had a spell as a youth player at MSV Duisburg. Played for their youth setup in 2013-14, so he was very, very young at the time, Lotka. Nonetheless, back to an old haunt today. Duisburg let the ball go there. Everybody thought somebody else was going to take it. Dortmund have it back in their own half. So Dortmund have won their last 3 against Duisburg. Goals have been something of a problem across the course of this season. They're ranking 17th in the division for goals scored, an average of 1.1 per game. However, they've managed 10 in their last 5 matches, and they've had a couple of big wins since Jan Zimmermann took over in February as well. Their last 3 games involve a 4-0 victory against Zwickau at home, a 4-1 victory on the road against 1860 Munich, and then a 0-0 draw against Halle Escher. For this Dortmund under-23 team, who've only drawn 4 games all season. It's actually the first draw since back in October, when they also drew 0-0 against Halle Escher on round 11, the game before these two sides last met. Dortmund 2, Duisburg 0 on that occasion, and Dortmund are looking like the team who are starting the stronger in the first couple of minutes. We've only played 3 minutes, but already Guido Bueno causing some trouble down the left side, and Ole Pullman, the 22-year-old, will have another chance to deliver from the corner spot over on Dortmund's left. Nicholas Kuller marshalling with his arms in the 6-yard box. Ball does come in towards the front of the 6-yard box and all the way across the front of the goal face. That was so close. Whistle had gone. I think it wouldn't have counted. Looked like Jonas Brombacher saw a foul there, perhaps for the push at the front of that 6-yard box, but that delivery was a dangerous one. Baccalaur's the man who went down. A 33-year-old, an experienced player in the context of these two young teams. Starting 11s, both pretty youthful, of course, at Dortmund, given that it's the under-23 or the second team of Borussia Dortmund. But Duisburg also with one of the younger lineups in the league. Inventive effort from the midfield for Duisburg. Punted the ball on target towards Lotke's goal. It was a very comfortable gather. However, nice idea from Duisburg, taking the loose ball first time. Stoppelkamp from that central hole, just trying to catch out Lotka. Stoppelkamp, who's been at MSV since 2017-18 season. Definitely one to watch. He's been a danger man. Guido Bueno skipping past his marker, lofting the cross a little too high and too long. I wonder if that had gone out, actually. Linesman over on the far side said no. Duisburg will be able to work it out from the back if they can get away, because they're under pressure here. Jinma forcing that ball back, trying to win it in the final third. Nicholas Kuller, former Mainz youth player, gets away with it though. Five minutes gone. Dortmund have been on top, but now Duisburg digging out a corner ball with Julian Hetver. Nice spot over on the right flank. A little bit of space in behind for the 20-year-old Hetver, MSV youth player. One of their own, an Eigenbauspieler, as they call it in German. Somebody who's come through the ranks inside their own team. Good delivery from the corner. It's headed out and hacked away. Both teams looking dangerous from set-piece situations in the early stages of this matchup. That'll do the confidence of Duisburg and Thorsten Siegner a little bit of good. They've been pushed back for the first 5 minutes, but they've shown they can create some danger themselves. Now they're settling on the ball for the first time in the game, moving it out to the right flank nicely. It's another decent delivery, but another one actually which, although it had a nice trajectory, ended up just drifting past everybody inside the penalty area and out for a Dortmund throw-in. Duisburg fans certainly enjoying themselves in this Ruhrgebiet derby today. just puts a little bit of extra on this one. Both teams certainly need the points, whether it's a derby or not, though. Duisburg in 12th with 36 points. Dortmund, second team, who just let that one deflect through to Lotka. Could have been dangerous for a second. The defence trusted that it would come through to Lotka, and it did indeed in the end. Dortmund down in 15th place. 31 points for them, 36 for Duisburg. The relegation zone comes up to 29 points right now, so it's very, very close. The threat of relegation, especially for the Dortmund under-23s. However, Jan Zimmermann's got them playing some good football. He's changed things around a little bit. Four wins, a draw and 5 defeats from their last 10. Duisburg with just 2 wins from the past 10 games, but only 3 defeats as well. 2 wins, 5 draws and 3 defeats for them. Dortmund, therefore, with the marginally better record over the last 10. Offside given, and Duisburg will try and get it restarted quickly with Marvin Zenger, but he's not allowed to do so. Referee Brombacher brings it back. Duisburg do get it restarted eventually, and they look to the right flank where they've had a little bit of success of late. Linesman and referee agreed there that Falco Michel battled a little bit too hard with that right arm of his. A little bit of grabbing, a little bit of pushing. The free kick goes the way of Joshua Bitter, former Schalke youth player Bitter. Stoppelkamp, the main man at MSV with the number 10 jersey, whips it into the box, bouncing low. It's headed, but it's not really clear, out to the D. A loss of footing there just before a shot came in. However, that's a really nice ball out back towards Stoppelkamp over on the right. Half-hearted appeals for handball, but that hit the back of Guilla Bueno. But he's out of position now, and Stoppelkamp's in again, and again Stoppelkamp losing his footing as he shoots the ball. Damns eventually, the 32-year-old defender getting a big deflection on it. I wonder whether Lotka would have been able to get up had that one lofted up into the air and dropped back over the goal line. As it is, Dortmund deflecting it over and behind the net. That's both teams now in the first 10 minutes with a chance that's been deflected away over the top. Corner ball came in, it was a big area leap, and now left-footed shot from way out. It's lifted high over the top from Julian Hetver. Can't say it wasn't worth a go. The two coaches there, Ziegner and Zimmermann. Coaches that have known each other for a while. They've got records from their playing days and coaching days that go back around about a decade by now. Still both fairly young coaches in the game. Duisburg picking up the throw over on the right side. Kasper Janda drops it and leaves it for Joshua Bitter. Trading throw-ins at the moment, and it's the 20-year-old Spaniard Guillermo Bueno who will be able to push this one forward for Dortmund. Gets it back and launches it down the left towards the halfway line. Push on Falco Michel. Got to watch himself, Falco Michel. He's got 9 yellow cards this season. Only Papadopoulos at Dortmund, who's picked up more. He's got 10. Something that Sebastian May in the back line for MSV today has also managed. It's well done by Özcan. Down to the right side, and Dortmund is still going here. Chance to deliver into the box. It's stood up high. It's headed towards the far post. Eventually, just flicked away wide. It was Michael Eberwein coming in there. Just turned it back towards the post. That was really nice work down in the right corner from Jinma. Eberwein returned it from whence it came towards the near post in the end. It was knocked away. Vincent Müller trying to organise his defence in the box here. Dortmund have been dangerous from corners. On the other side, can they create the same kind of danger this time from the right? They have to push it back away. They keep it alive though. There'll be a second chance to get something into the box, you would imagine. Pohlmann wrong-footing his man. Now it's his time to stand up across towards the back post. Nobody on the end of it in the box. Jinma takes it out over on the left flank and picks up only a throw-in for Dortmund's troubles. Bueno. Jinma with 8 goals and 4 assists this season. Dortmund, the team in the German third division with the highest percentage of dribbles per game. Jinma again going for it. What a run from Jinma towards the near post. Goes to ground. Referee waves him back to his feet. Still, more than enough of an impression as to what exactly Jinma can do and what danger he possesses. Did have his shirt tugged a little bit there, but you can understand why when he went down, the referee was not moved. Took a step and a half after his confrontation with Sebastian May before he hit the deck. Realised that he was going to run out of room there towards the near post, and Vincent Müller as I was saying before though, Dortmund, they do love their dribbling. It's of course part of being a youth team, being a second team setup, trying to teach the players the way to play the right way. It's not exclusively about results. When you're down in a relegation battle though, it does become pretty much dictated by getting the points on the board, and Jan Zimmermann for the most part has managed to do that with Dortmund. However, it's a team who love to run on the ball, and we've seen already some brilliant footwork, especially from Ole Pohlmann and from Justin Jinma. 2 players more than capable of taking on their opponents one-on-one and winning. Heart-in-mouth moment in the defence there for Duisburg. Another slip. It won't be the last that we see today. Remember, this pitch just 1 week ago was ruled as unplayable. Here go Duisburg into the box. Volley from the angle on the left. It's Moritz Stoppelkamp, as you might expect, trying to make something happen in the final third. They played that in from the left nicely. He rode his luck a little bit there, Stoppelkamp. Adjusted to the situation, tried to lift the ball up and over Papadopoulos. They took it on the volley. It was a bit messy in the box, it has to be said, but would have been something very, very nice indeed had Stoppelkamp blasted in the volley from that angle. Always had a lot to do to beat Lotka from that position over on the left of the area. The turf is looking all right today. Difficult stuff for the groundsmen here, the groundskeepers in Duisburg. There's only so much you can do when you've got men's games, women's games, and a whole lot of rain in the Ruhrgebiet. Pitch was in no condition for last weekend's match, but thankfully it's back playable again for this one. And it hasn't really been too much of a factor so far. There have been a couple of slips and slides here and there, but you'd expect as the game goes on, that might increase as well. Will it play a crucial part? The wrong footing there in the defence. Kuller couldn't get across. Sebastian May volleyed it back, eventually straight out of play for a Dortmund throw-in. It's a bit of a gift for Jan Zimmermann's team. What can they do with it? Throw-in halfway down the line on the right-hand side into Duisburg territory. Pohlmann spinning around, but can't work out where the ball's gone exactly. And Dortmund do keep it in for now. It's blasted away up into the crowd. It's back with Falco Michel. Julian Hetfer gets rid of the second ball on the pitch. Dortmund can throw this in to get things restarted. Just a short throw and they'll go back to the halfway line. Stoppelkamp, Hetver and Marlon Frey. Three of the most dangerous players for MSV Duisburg in this season in terms of goal creation. All three in the front five for Duisburg today, but Benjamin Geerth, he's been dangerous this season. 3 goals to his name. Collier Push with a few goals and assists as well. Both of them missing out on the starting lineup for various reasons today. Mai knocks it across to the centre circle. Michel there, the next to lose his footing. You wonder whether it'll happen at a key moment. Stoppelkamp might feel it already did happen at a key moment, as he lost his chance really to shoot cleanly towards Marcel Lotka. Jan Zimmerman not looking too happy at the options afforded to Marcel Lotka. He's going to have to take this one long. Blasts it over the halfway line, down with his right foot, but it's headed straight back. Bit of head tennis in the midfield. Dortmund will pick up the loose ball, and Jinma is going to win that foot race, you'd imagine, over on the left side. It's well defended, actually. Duisburg will pick up the throw-in as well. Joshua Bitter working hard to win that for his team. Jinma, who's been on the Dortmund senior team bench a couple of times this season. One of several players from the BVB2 side who played a key part in Dortmund's winter friendlies as well, mixing it with the first team players. Bit of space there for Abdoulaye Kamara. Kamara's going to get it back, and a touch inside, keeps it, but he's side-footed across the box, and look at the way he slid down to his knees because he knows that was a chance to create something. Bit of a rush of blood to the head there. It's giving himself a telling off as well, Abdoulaye Kamara. Only 18 years of age, the Frenchman. The former PSG man touched that ball past the last defender into a good position. Dortmund had players in the area as well. Duisburg defenders were still back, but Kamara rather overhit that, didn't give anybody a chance to put it in. Dortmund still looking marginally the better team on the ball. That's a heavy challenge, but perfectly executed by Marvin Bacalors. From 2010 to 2013 in the BVB2 side. Played for Hanover as well. Good passing from Dortmund. Pullman will just miss out on that. Kamara's blocked off as well. Yanda just drops it back. You just feel the way the pitch is starting to cut up a little bit suits the running style of the Dortmund players perhaps a little bit more, when they can drop the shoulder and change direction quickly. Could be the defenders who struggle most with the footing on this greasy surface. It's played back towards Müller. Neither goalkeeper really tested too much yet. Pullman with a shot at Müller's goal after about 25 seconds of this game that was deflected up and over the top. Müller might not have been able to do much about it had it gone towards the goal. Lotka as well, the Dortmund goalkeeper, suffering the same fate at one point, getting down to block a shot that was deflected up and over, but both of them ended up well over the bar and behind the goal. No big saves yet from either Müller or Lotka. It's Bitter who throws it back in towards Mai. My looks out to the right side this time. Pass blocked off quickly by Guida Bueno. Throw-in's taken quickly though. That's a nice idea from Duisburg. Good idea, but it's blasted up and away. Duisburg throw. Philipp König, something of a surprise name in the starting lineup today. He gets his welcome to the game with a bit of a body check from behind, but nothing given by Jonas Brombacher, the man in orange and black, the referee. So 22.5 minutes on the clock here at the MSV Arena in Duisburg. No goals as of yet between 12th placed Duisburg and 15th placed Dortmund under-23s. Right now, both teams still just settling, looking for the opener. Dortmund, however, looking dangerous when they're on the ball, breaking forward. Players willing to dribble forward and take on their defenders and try and beat them, and a couple of times they've had success with that. Duisburg, however, creating little openings from time to time as well. It's not really been a one-sided contest, although I would say Dortmund have edged it slightly halfway through this first half. No really big chances at either end, but here's a chance for a set piece. We've not seen one from such a promising position yet today. What will Jan Zimmermann's young team opt to do with this? Bacalors fouls Jinma. We've had some dangerous corners. But a chance for an in-swinging set piece like this. The dead ball situation for Ole Pohlmann. This is the first one of note in this game. Most balls into the box have ended up being too long and drifted through everyone. That one's much better though, and it's into the back of the net. Antonios Papadopoulos gets up highest to head home for Dortmund. 24 minutes gone. Dortmund lead in Duisburg. The West Derby moves in their direction midway through the first half. Jan Zimmermann delighted. The first real chance on goal since the opening minutes for Dortmund's under-23s, and it's dispatched calmly. Pohlmann's delivery spinning towards the goal, perfectly whipped in, and full credit to Antonios Papadopoulos, the defender, who leapt up highest and won the race for that aerial battle. Got to the ball before anybody else could, had two defenders around him, out-muscled the defenders next to him, and just had to turn the ball on target there for his first goal of the season. So what can Thorsten Siegner and MSV Duisburg do to respond to that? 25 minutes in, 20 minutes to go until half-time, just over halfway through the first half. And now suddenly, from the first good dead ball situation, Dortmund have found the back of the net. A really well taken header from Antonios Papadopoulos. Just had to attack that ball, put it towards the right of Vincent Müller's goal. Müller himself powerless to prevent that one going in. Couldn't move to his right to keep it out. Had to wait to see where the drifting cross was going to end up. Would have taken a spectacular save to stop that one once his defenders were beaten in the aerial battle. Dortmund captain Franz Pfanner unhappy that the ball was thrown away there after the foul on Abdoulaye Camara. It's Pohlmann again who's going to take it. Jinma tried to leave that one and let it bounce behind Marvin Zenga. Wasn't a bad idea. Left himself too much ground to cover, however. Duisburg over on the right. Ball almost ran out for a throw-in, but they've kept it in, and that's a nice pass down towards the byline on the right as well. The ball's dropped back into the box. Dortmund unable to get it under control at the first opportunity, but they can clear it away. Dortmund still on the defensive though, as Duisburg will come again, this time down the left side, but that should spin out of play. Lotka gets over it just to make sure. Nicholas Küller unable to create anything in terms of an opportunity to equalise for Duisburg. They'll need to show a bit of resilience here from 1-0 down. Dortmund have only conceded once in their last 3 games. They've taken 7 points from those under Jan Zimmermann and moved a couple of points ahead of the relegation zone because of it. Another win today. Let's see them pushing up towards Duisburg in the table. Duisburg a little bit in no man's land at the moment, with 9 victories, 9 draws and 11 defeats. Fairly well clear of the relegation battle, but not really looking up towards promotion either as a realistic prospect at this point of the season. Of course, never say never. Jinma earns himself a little bit of room. Patient, and Jinma cuts it back. It's a really good ball back as well. Just wrong-footed Abdoulaye Kamara, who had to gamble on it. There's nothing that Kamara did wrong, just could not reach back to bring that under control. But what excellent work from Jinma once again here. Some nice passing from Duisburg over on the left this time. The game opening up now as we come towards a half an hour. Papadopoulos, the goal scorer, bursting forward, gaining plenty of yards down the right side. What can he do with the delivery? It's not a great one at full pace. He looked up, didn't make a great contact with the ball. Cleared away easily enough by the Duisburg defence, who have it under control right now. But they trail by a 1-0 thanks to the set piece. The best delivery into the box by a country mile in today's game came from the right foot of Ole Pohlmann. His in-swinging free kick, so dangerous as it spun towards the goal. Müller had to wait and see what happened to it. Probably would have spun and bounced in at the back post had nobody touched it on the way through. A touch off a defender or a forward would have been very dangerous, but in the end the header was emphatic, to say the least, by Papadopoulos. Got his forehead on it, won the aerial battle, made the ball fly like a bullet in towards the near post. Really well taken header. Ball into the box there. Had the crowd gasping at the MSV Arena. Philipp König looking for his first goal of the season, trying to get on the end of the whipped-in delivery. It bounced in front of Marcel Lotka. Really dangerous ball from Moritz Stoppelkamp. Probably the best one that's come into the box from Duisburg, actually. Very difficult for Lotka to do anything with that. Had to leave it and trust that if the bounce made it hard for him to gather, it would also make it equally hard for Philipp König to get on the end of it, and so it proved. Dortmund holding up the ball well there, with Jinma showing another facet to his game. It's away for a Duisburg throw though. Nicholas Küller, former Mainz man, just telling his teammates to calm down a little bit. That's just too far away from Jinma. Ball had a decent line down towards the byline over on the right. Jinma wanted it into his stride, couldn't quite readjust quickly enough to keep that in play. So if you're just joining us here at the MSV Arena, it's a goal from the head of Antonios Papadopoulos that's given Dortmund's under-23s their slender advantage for now. That came halfway through the first half. We've played a few minutes since then. And there hasn't really been the response from Duisburg that Thorsten Siegner or the home crowd would have wanted. Zenger there with defensive duties to do. Gets a roar of celebration as well in the direction of Justin Jinma. Nice moment for Zenger. Made the tackle perfectly, but it shows that he knows that he's in with a battle on his hands against Justin Jinma today. Celebration like that just says, I've won this one. Trying to get into the head of Jinma. It's well worked out by Duisburg. Pushed back into the corner. They've brought it away well. No free kick goes their way though. Dortmund have it back with space to work with. Pullman was waiting on the right. They went to Bueno on the left instead. Ball into the penalty area. Right towards the penalty spot. Flick with the heel from Jinma. Would have been special if it had found a teammate overlapping on that right-hand side. Or indeed, had it headed on target. You'd imagine he was looking to try and play that back to Michael Eberwein. It didn't quite work out. Trouble for the 23-year-old Philipp König here. Former Wolfsburg and Kiel player, down on the ground. Important game for König today in terms of establishing himself. Now he's got the opportunity at Duisburg. Thorsten Siegner has trusted him with a place alongside Julian Hetfer. Tried to get on the end of that Moritz Stoppelkamp delivery a couple of minutes ago. Might have been something stretching for that. That's caused the trouble for him now. More than 11,000. That's the attendance, and those are the voices that you can hear at the MSV Arena today. The Duisburg fans have come out to celebrate the Easter weekend with their home game against Dortmund, but right now it would be Dortmund who are the team who can celebrate a happy Easter. König, by the looks of it, by the looks of the hand gesture from the physios over on the far touchline, König will need replacing. Thorsten Siegner forced to make his first substitution then in this first half. Bad news for König, that's a shame for him. Plenty of options, of course, on the bench. And König went down without anybody else around him, unfortunately, which does suggest that it's more than just a knock. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for the Duisburg number 27, but he's not going to play any further part today. And Duisburg are content just to knock this around at the back for now, because they are down to 10 men until the substitution is finished off. Right now, there's a decision to make as to who will come on. It could be Benjamin Geert. That would make sense. Depends on what tactical changes that Thorsten Siegner feels his team need, if any. It is indeed Benjamin Geert who will be coming on. So Geert comes on. Many, of course, expected him to actually be in the starting lineup today in place of Philipp König. Geert, centre forward, a similar player in terms of what he can do. to Philipp König. He scored 3 times and got 2 assists this season in 10 appearances. Pretty decent record for the former Braunschweig man. Abdoulaye Kamara runs into a bit of trouble. Gets it back into the box though. Dortmund do get it clear. Elsewhere in Germany's 3rd division right now, 1860 drawing with Osnabrück, goalless there. Dynamo Dresden 1-0 up on Rot-Weiß Essen. Halesche 2-1 down at home against Erzgebirge Aue. Oldenburg and Wiesbaden drawing 0-0, and Waldhof Mannheim trailing by 0-0 against Freiburg 2, the team riding high near the top of the table. Duisburg here though, trailing by 0-0 against Dortmund's under-23s, and now struggling a bit for ideas as well. The response to going 1-0 down after 24 minutes has still not really materialised, and passes like that won't help. Thorsten Siegner trying to motivate his team, but Dortmund are on top here on the scoreboard, but also on the field, just in terms of ideas and playing style. They look like the stronger of the 2 sides right now. Bit of pressure on Lotka as he loops the ball over the penalty area out towards Can Özcan. Haven't seen much of Özcan, the right back, today. Trying to get forward now this time. Franz Pfanner, the captain, gets it back out to the right touchline, and eventually with a bit of good footwork, Özcan does get it back, and Dortmund somehow are still going here. They've got no room to work with. Plenty of players up against them. Eventually Duisburg win the ball back, but not for long. Caught in possession immediately, and Dortmund will now work it out where there is a bit of space. Over to the left side. Falco Michel waiting ahead. Guido Bueno puts a stop to it instead. He might go himself down towards the touchline. He does. Cross is blocked with the left foot. Bueno picks up the throw-in. Pohlmann turns well and is surely pulled back there. Can't believe he's not ended up with a free kick. But Dortmund still have the ball, and they've got it with Abdoulaye Kamara in space. Pohlmann does get the ball back eventually. Falco Michel over on the left. Delivery into the box. Takes a deflection, but it might be fired goalwards, and it is. Franz Pfanner lining one up there. He had all the time in the world to pick his spot. Just too many bodies in the way. Too much traffic between the boot of Franz Pfanner, the Dortmund captain, and the goal of Vincent Müller. Mai wins the free kick there against Eberwein, who knew he'd got that one wrong. Five minutes to go then until half-time. The Duisburg fans asking for their team to score a goal for them. Shot on target. Stoppelkamp it was who had a go. Very, very dangerous striker, great positioning. The opportunity was afforded to him. A little bit of a gift. Dortmund defence laid it up for him. Although he got it on target, he couldn't really catch it with enough conviction to trouble the goalkeeper. What can Jinma do here, though? Tries to cut back. That's always going to be difficult with a back heel cut back like that on turf like this. Plenty of effort, though, and Justin Jinma so often is at the centre of it for this young Dortmund team. Really a thorn in the side of the Duisburg defence right now, as he has been for large periods of this first half. Bueno's throw is short. He might get it back, and he does. Turns it onto his left foot. Plays it down towards Kamara. Down in the left corner. Dortmund still looking good on the ball. Pohlmann with another chance to deliver, this time towards the front post. That was dangerous. Flicked on well Dortmund don't even get the corner, but that was another chance. Once again, it came from the right boot of Ole Pohlmann, the man with the assist for Papadopoulos' opener. The Duisburg fans asking for their team to score a goal for them. They've come out in good number today, and they've come out in fine voice as well. But right now, they haven't had too much to shout about. This Saturday afternoon game has been mostly in favour of the Dortmund under-23s so far. Lotka. A little bit more pressure forward by the Duisburg front line. However, it's very easily worked around by Dortmund right now, and Abdoulaye Kamara spreads it out to the left. Bueno again getting involved as much as possible down that left flank. Pohlmann cuts back inside, earns himself a little bit of room. Pohlmann takes aim. The dipping and swerving shot. And it's really the first notable save of the afternoon from Vincent Müller. Lotka's had nothing to do at the other end. Müller has had little to do except pick the ball out of the back of his net. That time, though, a diving stop from Pohlmann's shot. Here's another look at it. Pohlmann dropping the shoulder for the third or fourth time this afternoon, earning himself that room to shoot. That wasn't an easy save from Müller, as the ball was dipping. Would have bounced right into the bottom corner of the back of the net. This is better from Duisburg, though. Space over on the right side. Geertz, the substitute, gets the good delivery into the 6-yard box, and Lotka has to ask his defender to leave that. Benjamin Geertz causing a little bit of trouble for Dortmund. Geertz with the number 31, who's come on after the injury to Philipp König, who went down without anybody else around him. It's knocked back towards Müller. Last 30 seconds of regular time in this first half. Jonas Brombacher, you'd imagine, will add a couple of minutes. That was the Dortmund goal, of course, but also the stoppage for Philipp König's injury. That ball's floated across the box very, very high and wide, but Duisburg will keep it in play over on the right. Movement from Janda. Pass into the box, though, not really good enough. Almost worked out, fortunately, for Duisburg, but instead Ole Pohlmann can get it away, even up in his own corner there. Pohlmann quite happy to try and use his footwork and skills, but no free kick goes his way that time. He might have played himself into a bit of trouble. Dortmund get it out, and they pick up a throw-in as well for their troubles. Duisburg with nothing to show for a better spell in the past couple of minutes. The fans still patient, but they'll need to see more from the second half. We've only got 1 minute of stoppage time. Most of that's already gone. I'm surprised there's not a couple of minutes, given König's injury. There's a bit of stoppage time played, or a bit of a stoppage made, in fact, when König went down. Here come Duisburg with what might well be the last attack of the first half. Geertz, another chance for a delivery into the box. This one's headed away, and that might be that for the first 45. Indeed it is. Referee Jonas Brombacher puts the whistle to his lips and brings the first half to a conclusion at the MSV Arena. Duisburg under pressure for large parts of the first half, and it's a goal from the head of Antonios Papadopoulos, the man on your screens right now. That's the goal that separates the two teams. Ole Pohlmann's delivery from a set piece brilliantly into the box, spinning towards the goal. Papadopoulos got up highest to head home past Vincent Müller, and that's why the half-time score is MSV Duisburg 0, Dortmund under-23s 1. Stick with us for the second half coming up soon. A warm welcome back to the MSV Arena in Duisburg. Duisburg 0, Dortmund under-23s 1 at the half-time score. Papadopoulos with the opening goal, the only goal so far, heading in from Ole Pohlmann's set-piece delivery after 24 minutes. Pohlmann himself went close to adding a second for Jan Zimmermann's Dortmund second team late on in the first half, firing a dipping shot that was pushed away, palmed away by Vincent Müller in the Duisburg goal. The only really big save that he's had to make today. Dortmund coming out with a very, very strong first half performance, dribbling forward with confidence. Duisburg lacking a few ideas. Thorsten Siegner with one enforced change in the first half. Philipp König going off injured, unfortunately. Benjamin Geert coming on to take his place up front, and now Nicholas Küller has been replaced at half-time as well. Baran Mogultai, the youngster who's come on at half-time in the left-back position. You could hear the stadium announcer letting the 12,000 or so fans in the MSV Arena know that Baran Mogultai has come on for Nicholas Küller. So some of those 5 changes that Thorsten Siegner made for this game today for Duisburg not really working out in that first half. Stoppelkamp with a free kick chance for Duisburg opts for the pass out to the right. It's whipped in from that right side into the box, but really it was floated in and it wasn't good enough to test the Dortmund defence. Jinma tries to work it out from the right, gets it into the middle. Eberwein will continue that one out to the left side. Pohlmann picks it up. Eberwein and Jinma waiting in the box now. The ball won't be coming into them for just a minute though. It's gone back into Dortmund's half and it's back with the goal scorer Papadopoulos. Dortmund under-23s looking good right now to move further away from relegation trouble. Would be a 4th win in a row, having won both games against Duisburg last season and one already this season. Would be 4 on the bounce against Duisburg. Dortmund wanting a penalty there with Falco Michel. Referee waved him back to his feet very quickly there. Well, you can definitely say you've seen them given. Mai slid in there, didn't make it anywhere near the ball. Gave Falco Michel the chance to move over and initiate the contact. It's one of those that whatever happens in the rule book, whatever happens with VAR and everything in football, you could still make a very, very good case for that either way. Could be seen as a foul. Fair as well not to give it. Jinma miscontrols it and the ball slips out through his legs and out of play. Duisburg start again at the back with Müller, the goalkeeper. Crucial save from the long shot of Ole Pohlmann in the 43rd minute. Got over to his right-hand side and palmed the ball away to keep Duisburg within 1 here. Dortmund certainly the more comfortable team in the first half, but although their lead is well deserved, they didn't have too many chances to make it 2-0. Way back into the game for Duisburg, still not far away at only 1-0. Anything, of course, could still happen and change the momentum of this match on Matchday 31 in the German 3rd Division. Ball stays in play for a while there, but eventually goes out off of Hetver. Still no chances, really. No big chances. No clear chances for either Hetver, Stoppelkamp or Geertz now, who's come on. A couple of decent crosses into the box, a couple of half-dangerous moments, one slip from Stoppelkamp in a good position. A couple of efforts on target, especially from the number 10 Moritz Stoppelkamp, who scored 7 times this season. But all of those efforts have been routine gathers and nothing more for Marcel Lotka in the Dortmund goal. Here go Dortmund down the right side. Crosses a little bit overhit, but Bueno will pick it up on the far side and fire it across the face of goal. Eberwein gambled on it as well in the 6-yard box. Good spirit from the number 14, throwing himself into the 6-yard box and trying to turn that home from close range, but he couldn't quite do it. Bueno, the young Spaniard at left-back, getting forward, pouncing on that opportunity after the cross was played all the way over the penalty area. It's not the first overhit cross we've seen today, but now here come MSV at the other end. Big chance for the equaliser. Lotka gathers at the second attempt. High fives in the Dortmund back line there. By far and away, the biggest chance for MSV Duisburg after 50 minutes. Stoppelkamp's through ball into the path of Hetver. Hetver came up against Lotka under heavy pressure. He got a kick in just before the ball reached Lotka. That's why Lotka couldn't gather it initially. But he had his body well positioned and then earned himself a little bit of luck as well, the Dortmund keeper. And he could spring back behind himself and gather the loose ball. Much better from Duisburg though. Signs of life for MSV. Now they're shooting towards their vociferous home support as well. Already a good atmosphere in here for this Ruhrgebiet derby. That would go up by a couple of notches at least if MSV were to find a goal in front of their home supporters here. They've not managed to keep a clean sheet in their last 5 games, Duisburg, make that 6 now. But they've drawn 4 of their last 6. Tough to beat, but finding wins hard to come by as well. They drew 2-2 in their last game at Halle. Had the week off, of course, last time. Dortmund in the box here, chance for a second. Well blocked by Marvin Zenger. Dortmund come again though. Duisburg not able to work it out, and again it's Bueno across the 6-yard box, and again it's Eberwein who's in there. But it's the same result second time around. Eberwein not quite able to turn it home from point-blank range. Duisburg living dangerously as the game opens up in this second half. Dortmund under a bit of pressure, but they keep it in the left-back position. They've passed it away well there. Chance to move it forward now. A slip as the ball goes long and it's off target towards Jinma. Now Zenger moving it forward for Duisburg. The pass strays a little bit far out to the left and Papadopoulos comes flying in and punches the air in celebration afterwards as well. Always a fired-up player, Antonios Papadopoulos, former Halle and Ireland player. Been with Dortmund's second team since 2021. Scored his first goal of the season in the first half to give Jan Zimmermann's team the lead. Can Özcan there. It's actually a drop ball, given that the second ball came onto the pitch. And Brombacher called the play dead. Pfanner puts it behind. MSV corner. Mogultai, one of the options. He doesn't take it though. Duisburg keep it. Hetva did well at first, but found himself in trouble. Prodded the ball away to the left side. Duisburg keep it alive. Stoppelkamp lifted in towards the near post. It's going to bounce right in front of Papadopoulos, but he dealt with it well. Read the bounce of the ball and headed it away. Duisburg come again though, better from them in the early stages of this second half. The pass is spread out to the right hand side and it's overhit. Marlon Frey just putting a little bit too much on it, but he gets it back and a chance to get it into the box. That one's rather more easily defended. Still, Duisburg on the up in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Dortmund have had their chances as well. Now Duisburg are leaving them a little bit more room. They have to take the risk. Stoppelkamp, not for the first time today, gets a shot on target, but it's straight at Marcel Lotka. And a very comfortable gather for the man in red. Or orange, I suppose, depending on the way you want to look at these things, but the fact remains the same. Marcel Lotka, the young goalkeeper that spent 2013 and 14 as an MSV Duisburg youth player, has been untroubled so far by the shots from distance from Moritz Stoppelkamp. It was Julian Hetver's run into the box. That was the biggest stop of the day from Lotka. Got his body in position well to block the run. Managed to gather the loose ball afterwards too, but Duisburg have done ever so well here in the right-hand corner. Still going. Chance to get it across into the box. Comes to nothing, but still they pick up the loose ball, and this has been the pattern for the last few minutes now. This time Dortmund managed to get it clear, and they can get over the halfway line with room to run. Eberwein waiting on the right. Eberwein goes into the middle. Jinma goes all his own way and fires it into the back of the net for 2-0 Dortmund. Jinma, the most dangerous player of the first half, finds his reward in the second. And Duisburg, who've been on the up for the past few minutes, suddenly find themselves with double the deficit. Dortmund getting a second goal, and it was the patience of the run from Justin and Jinma. His teammates helped him out, no end there, by running left, right and centre. 4 on 3. Nobody went to close down Jinma tightly enough, and with options in every conceivable direction, the defence were pulled apart, and that left room for Justin Jinma to slot in and wrong foot Vincent Müller in the Duisburg goal. A well taken move and a calm and composed finish. Confirmation there that it's the 9th goal of the season for Justin Jinma. Crucial moment in the game as well. Duisburg on the up for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and now suddenly 2 goals down. What a blow to Moritz Stoppelkamp and his teammates. They've got a chance to respond immediately from the corner here, and it's a good one, and somehow it's over the bar from about 2 yards out. How about that from Duisburg? What a chance. Benjamin Geert, almost with defensive duties in the 6-yard box there, tried to touch it away from Lotka, who might have been able to read it, but instead of blasting it into the roof of the net, he scoops it over the top from deep inside the 6-yard box, just about 2 yards off the goal line. Somehow it's over. What a frantic spell in the second half this is. The game coming to life since the break. Dortmund found one in the first half, but now chances at both ends. Baran Mogultai bringing a bit of fight as he runs down the left. You can see the dedication, the desperation in his run as well. And now another double change. They've already made 2 changes. Here come 2 more in one fell swoop. Off goes Joshua Bitter. He gets out in a hurry. Marlon Frey, it's not really been his day. He's off as well. So attacking changes as you would expect for a team 2-0 down. And Hari and Ayani coming on. Ball across from the right side is defended eventually. Duisburg with a player down in the box, but nothing doing. So Marvin Ayani is on. Number 20. How quickly can those two substitutes get involved in the game? Hamza and Hari, the 19-year-old Moroccan, coming on as well. Stoppelkamp goes for the short pass, tried to wrong foot the Dortmund defence, but it didn't work, and they'll try and get it away. And Hari there, showing his willingness to be involved in this battle. So Ayani and Hari trying to up the tempo for Duisburg and get them back into the game. Still half an hour to play. Plenty of football left to be played, and if they can get the next goal, the complexion of the game changes, of course, massively. But you do feel that that was a big moment for Dortmund, extending the lead to 2-0 in the face of some pressure. First change now coming from Jan Zimmermann. It's Falco Michel who makes his way off. Ted Tatemush getting ready to come on. So another attacking option now for Dortmund under 23s. Michel goes off. Didn't perhaps make as much impact as we see sometimes from Falco Michel. But now in Ted Tatemush, there's a bit of a different option in that forward line for Dortmund. Good at holding up the play. Use him as a target man as well. And here goes Tatemush, the number 9. His first little foray into the Duisburg penalty area. Digs out a throw-in for his team, or helps to do so anyway. Good start to this game for Tatemush. Difficulties for Thorsten Siegner, former Zwickau, Halle and Würzburg coach. Long ball again played up towards Tatemush, perhaps a lower risk approach to attacking from Dortmund now, given that they are 2 goals to the good. If you can get the ball off the ground and lump it forward, and you've got a player like Tatemush who can hold it up, play it out to the runners around him, it's a good chance for Dortmund to strike forward without leaving too much room exposed at the back, or leaving a route back into this game for MSV Duisburg, who, remember, have lost each of the last 3 games against Dortmund under 23s. There's a good chance that that could be 4 from 4 in favour of Dortmund in about half an hour's time. And Hari wanted that played into a different area. A little bit of inaccuracy led to the Dortmund throw-in. Again, it's flicked on this time by Eberwein into the direction of Tatemush's run. Duisburg have it back though, and it's thundered forward. Where's that going to go? You wondered for just a second whether that would test Müller. Got out to the left of his penalty area though and gathered it comfortably. You do see them every now and then bizarrely ballooning forward, catching out a goalkeeper who's perhaps lurking in the D. That's a good ball into the middle. Big collision in the box. Free kick goes Dortmund's way, much to the displeasure of the home fans. And again, the fist pumps from Papadopoulos. That man loves his defensive duties. fired up at the best of times, Papadopoulos, but certainly now having scored in this game. Home crowd haven't exactly gone quiet, but the second goal has taken a little bit of the buzz away from the home fans in the MSV Arena. That's a really good tackle. And that kind of thing grinds away at the mentality of the players as well. Dortmund just looking so strong, and that's a volley from Vincent Müller. Had to be pretty alert to that, and in fairness to him, connected very cleanly with the clearance as well from the edge of his own area. Abdoulaye Kamara fighting his way through and still going. Surely he's going to pick up a free kick at the end of this. Hamza Anhari, the man to whom the foul was assigned at the end there. Could have been 2 or 3 Duisburg players. Hamza Anhari gets the warning from Jonas Brombacher, the no more warning. Don't do that again. But what a lot of space Duisburg have left for Özcan here to deliver towards the back post. It's headed up. It might stay in play here for Tatamouche. It's not going to drift over for a corner. Tatamouche goes back towards the front post, and it's headed in. Dortmund extend the lead to 3. It was Papadopoulos again who won the initial header, but this time, the third time that Eberwein has gambled on a ball across the 6-yard box, and this time he manages to make the final touch and push the ball across the line from close range. Duisburg looking dead and buried now on the scoreboard at least. Duisburg 0, Dortmund 3. This West derby could be going Dortmund's way now. Tatamouche picks it up. It's flicked on by Papadopoulos. The celebration from Eberwein suggests that he got the final touch. It's going to count, surely, as a Papadopoulos goal and assist now in the game. But that one will go down to the number 14, Michael Eberwein. Also his first goal of the season after Papadopoulos got his first in the first half. Dortmund coming again, undeterred. They're not giving up on this yet. They feel that there are more goals in the game for them. Free kick goes against Sebastian May. He's not happy with the call, but there was a bit of a body check on Bueno, who was carrying the ball down the left wing. What a great job Jan Zimmermann has done since coming in here. Dortmund looking like a new team, playing good football. We saw a good delivery in the first half, leading to a goal for Dortmund's under-23s. What about this time? Ted Tatamouche having his shirt pulled all the way around in the box, and the ball goes across through the 6-yard box, wide of the far post. Thought they might need to bring that back and take it again, given the pushing and shoving in the area, but it's all the way out. It's a Dortmund corner. Justin Ajinma over to it. He might leave it for teammate Pullman. Stays around as the short pass option. Pullman surely will take that. It was given away by starting the ball from inside the little arc there. For some reason, it's always taken right from the edge normally, but Pullman into a dangerous position down towards the touchline. May and Müller critical of the linesman there, giving that as a Dortmund corner. Jinma once again providing the short option. Pullman. Good ball in, and again it's over the line. Dortmund running riot in Duisburg. It's 4-0. It looks like the last touch came off a Duisburg defender. Once again, though, Duisburg beaten to the initial ball in the air. Dortmund utterly dominant in the aerial battles. And if you looked at the lineups, you would have thought that Duisburg had the aerial presence covered in the penalty area before today's game, but that has not been the way it's panned out. Tatemusch won it. Eventually, Eberwein once again gambling on it, but the last touch comes off the chest of the defender. Eberwein would have put it in anyway. Marvin Zenger with the own goal to make a miserable day for Duisburg even worse. Thorsten Siegner must be so frustrated with what he's seen, but somehow Jan Zimmermann has been able to ruthlessly expose problems in the aerial duels from Duisburg. 3 of the goals now for Dortmund have come from high balls into the box. Dortmund winning all of the headers in the Duisburg penalty area really now. They've broken the spirit of the Duisburg defence. You felt that at 3-0, Dortmund weren't letting up, and they've got their rewards for sticking to their task. There could be more problems for Duisburg unless they change things very, very quickly. They did start well in the second half. They came out fighting. They were looking for that equaliser, but their good start to the second period ran out of steam after about 10 minutes when Justin Njinma dribbled down the middle, went one way and then the other, and slotted the ball past the wrong-footed Vincent Müller. It was all too easy for Dortmund to double the lead. And that knocked the stuffing out of MSV Duisburg somewhat. Four goals once again for Jan Zimmermann's Dortmund. Remember, this is one of the teams who've scored amongst the fewest goals in the German third division this season, averaging 1.1 per game, down in 17th in the rankings in terms of goals scored before this. Now suddenly, since Zimmermann's come in, it's certainly not the first time Dortmund have scored 4 times. Pullman down to the touchline, chips it in a little bit too high. There's a loss of footing from Eberwein as well, who's looked ever so dangerous in the box. Eberwein just feeling like he's going to be the one on the end of every loose ball today. It's lifted forward. Want to chase for Tatemusch, and Njinma gets in there. Came from nowhere there to beat Sebastian May to the ball. Took it out to the corner. Tried to nutmeg May. It did not work. Franz Pfanner been caught there. A little bit out of breath after that collision. But remember, Jan Zimmermann's Dortmund under-23s, unbeaten in 3 games. They scored 4 times at home against Zwickau. Scored 4 times away against 1860 Munich. Drew 0-0 then with Halesha. But now, 4 more goals to their account. They've only conceded 1 in these 3 games, plus 74 minutes. Chance for another across the box. It's blasted away before it crossed the line. Dortmund will keep it in play though. Clever play from Kamara to keep that going. Deflection and in for Dortmund. Franz Pfanner gets the goal. A fairly rare sight as the Dortmund under-23 captain blasts in from well outside the box. A huge deflection helped him on the way. But when things are going your way, They certainly are going your way. It's not going for Duisburg today. It's all going to Dortmund. You make your own luck in a sense. Sebastian May can't believe it. Just not his day, not his team's day. Vincent Müller had absolutely no chance once that had come off the boot of the Duisburg defender. Stoppelkamp off, Stierlin on. An interesting substitution in a sense. A sign really, with Nicholas Stierlin coming on, that Stoppelkamp may as well be rested for the next 15 minutes. Nothing left to gather from this game. Chipped out to the right-hand side of the area, and Hardy tries it, and it's back across, and it's blasted up and over. Even the home fans had to cheer that shot on, ironically at best. It was way up and over. Painful day this for the MSV fans. Painful one for Thorsten Siegner, the coach. You could see it was a painful one for Stoppelkamp getting withdrawn. It's not how he imagined this derby going. The home fans who came out in good numbers for this Ruhrgebiet derby today, they have not been rewarded for giving up their Saturday afternoons on this Easter weekend. Hopefully wherever you're watching, you've enjoyed this one a lot more. Presumably not, unfortunately, if you're of a Duisburg persuasion. Double change for Dortmund. Bueno off for Prince Arning. Kamara off for Göputz as well. So Dortmund will miss the presence of Guido Bueno over on the left-hand side. They'll miss the solidity of Kamara in the middle as well, who's made quite a few clever passes today, and he's held on to the ball time after time, moving forward, taking 2 or 3 defenders with him until they get the ball off him, if indeed they manage to do so at all. But now Prince Arning, the young Dutch player, comes on over on the left side. He's left-footed player, Arning. Gökhan Göputz, the 20-year-old, on as well for the last 15 or so minutes of this game. It's done and dusted in terms of a result. Dortmund will be moving up in the table in points at least. Right now, it's not helping them move up in terms of positions. Ingolstadt are on 35 points. Borussia Dortmund, with the 3 that they'll collect here today from the MSV Arena, would be up to 34 points. Just 2 points now behind their hosts, MSV Duisburg. Essen on the same points as Duisburg are also losing today. The 2 teams in 17th and 18th, the top end of that relegation zone, both losing as well. Halesha, as it stands, remaining on 29 points. VfB Oldenburg staying on 27. So Dortmund moving to 34. That would take them 5 away from the relegation zone, with Bayreuth lurking in the middle there on 31 points. Duisburg across from the right, headed away. Familiar story for the Dortmund defence today. Every ball into the box has pretty much been nodded away. And again, you can only really think of one big chance that Marcel Lotka had to come up with a very good save to stop. That was the run into the box from Julian Hetver early on in the second half. Stoppelkamp played him in. Hetver was into the box under heavy pressure from defenders. You can't call it a one-on-one given how many yellow shirts were around him. But he got right up against Marcel Lotka, poked the ball towards the Dortmund goal, and had Lotka not been so solid and so well positioned, it could easily have been Duisburg 1, Dortmund 1 there after a couple of minutes of second half action. As it was, Lotka came out on top of that duel, and since then it has all gone the way of Dortmund under 23s. Space on the left for Gurputz. Loses his footing as he still adjusts to the soft turf at the MSV Arena. Remember, just 1 week ago, a home game here was deemed unplayable by the German football authorities. There'll be a catch-up game for Duisburg against Elversberg, but the week off has apparently not done them any favours. Thorsten Siegner said he used it to train with the team and keep them in good shape. A couple of players able to take part then in training who wouldn't have made it in time, perhaps otherwise, for the Elversberg game, but this will be a dent to the confidence of Duisburg, that's for sure. Tatamush breaking forward, had the ball just poked away. Out to the right go Duisburg. Ajani, good run from him, powerful run down the right, ball across the middle, headed up and over by Nicholas Dams. He's not had a huge amount to do since early on in the first half, Dams, but he did that well. Corner ball whipped in once again. Dortmund dominating the aerial battle. There's 1-1 by MSV, and there's a look at just how dangerous it can be. Start winning headers in the area and chances start falling your way. Benjamin Geert knows it. Better from Duisburg. Hetver's ball in was a good one. Finally, somebody beats Papadopoulos in the air. And that wasn't far away from Duisburg getting one on the board. Dortmund at the moment will just want to hold on to this clean sheet. It's one more statistical extra that could be useful. So Jinma going off, Eberwein going off as well, both of whom have had very productive afternoons indeed. And Jinma with the second goal, Eberwein with the third. He's come close to scoring on other occasions too. Now coming on is Rodney Ilongo-Yombo. Duisburg in the box. Flag was up. Nothing doing. So it was a double change just before that Duisburg break down the left-hand side. Moses Otuali coming on, a 20-year-old Rodney Ilongo-Yombo, a 21-year-old coming on as well. Fortin Jinma and Eberwein. And that scoreboard makes grim reading for the Duisburg fans, who, to their credit, came out in really good numbers for today's game, well over 10,000, a figure around about 12,000 packed in behind Marcel Lotke's Dortmund goal right now, but they've not found a way past him. Shooting towards their own fans. Duisburg did appear to be boosted in the first 10 minutes of the first half. Those were the minutes, perhaps, where this result was determined eventually. A goal for Duisburg there, a way back into the game, and this could have all looked so different. As it was, they couldn't get through. And Dortmund since then have rather run away with it. Good movement. Mogultai still going. Cross blocked. He's been a bright spark in an otherwise gloomy day for Duisburg. Substitutions. Mogultai and Anhari have certainly shown the kind of desperation and desire to get back into the game that the home fans would, as a very minimum, expect from a team struggling so badly in the game. But in all honesty, Dortmund and Jan Zimmermann, the coach, have been able to hold Duisburg at arm's length ever since Papadopoulos scored the opener, perhaps even before. Dortmund were on top in the early stages at 0-0. It's not been undeserved, this scoreline. Papadopoulos combines with Pullman to get that away. Tatamush tries to hold up the ball, but Bacalors, former Dortmund player Bacalors, gets it back. Free kick Dortmund, much to the annoyance of the home fans and the home players as well, in fairness. Duisburg 0, Dortmund 5. Jan Zimmermann's turnaround of this young Dortmund second team continues to gather pace as they pull further away from the relegation battle. Still right in there, but if they play anything like this for the remainder of the campaign, they will certainly be safe. And a 5-point cushion is a lot healthier than the 2-point cushion that they started the day with. Duisburg still looking for some way, any way past Marcel Lotke in the Dortmund goal. Papadopoulos penalised. Free kick goes the way of Julian Hetver. An interesting couple of minutes elsewhere in the German third division, and also important for the relegation battle. Halesha have scored twice late on against Erzgebirge Aue. That one's still going, but Halesha lead by 3-2 now. And that means Bayreuth would slip into the relegation zone as it stands. And suddenly Dortmund would no longer be 5 points away from the relegation zone, but rather 3 instead. Chance for Duisburg to reduce the deficit. Sebastian Ney with the right-footed volley. Franz Pfanner falling on top of him in the end and holding on to his private parts as well. You can see from the expression on his face that that's a painful one for Franz Pfanner. The Dortmund captain will probably be soothed somewhat, having scored today. Lotke pushes it away under a lot of pressure. Has a word with referee Jonas Brombacher, or in his direction at least as well, saying that he wanted a free kick for that. Müller under pressure has to kick that one away downfield. Duisburg pick it up and knock it out to the right. Out for a corner. But Halesha taking the lead does change that picture at the bottom somewhat. It would now be in 14th, Ingolstadt with 35 points, Dortmund in 15th with 34, Halesha in 16th with 32, and then the relegation zone begins with Bayreuth on 31 and Oldenburg on 27, with only Zwickau and Meppen below. Goalkeeper Müller called into action once more. Came out very well there, stayed alert to win the foot race. Duisburg are still trying to get back into the game. Dortmund are still just about pushing forward when the opportunity opens up for them. Not sure whether you could say it's more likely to end 5-1 now or 6-0. Dortmund in no rush whatsoever as they let that one drift out. Nicholas Dams lets it roll out for the throw-in. Dams, who won his last 2 games against Duisburg actually before joining Dortmund as well. He's about to go on to a 6-game winning streak against MSV Duisburg. And no added time played at all by referee Jonas Brombacher. I'm not sure how that computes with 5 goals having gone in over the course of the game. But he puts MSV Duisburg out of their misery on this Easter Saturday. The home fans, they've tried their best to support the team and push them forward in this game against Dortmund, but it just has not worked out at all for Thorsten Siegner or his MSV Duisburg side today, despite more than 10,000 fans gathering in the MSV Arena.
Live bei Magenta Sport. Präsentiert von BWin. Das ist unser Spiel.
This one has firmly gone the way of Jan Zimmermann and his Borussia Dortmund under-23s. The final result, MSV Duisburg 0, Borussia Dortmund second team 5. A wonderful performance from several players. Papadopoulos with a goal and an assist, Najimna with the second, Eberwein with the third, a Singer own goal for the fourth, and Franz Pfanner's deflected strike finishing off a rout in the Ruhrgebiet derby. Dortmund take the win. Duisburg will have to lick their wounds before they go again. An important 3 points in the relegation battle go the way of Jan Zimmermann's team. A one-sided contest and a brilliant win. 5-0 the final score from the MSV Arena.